Now we shall discuss something about analyzing the data. The data can assume many shapes and forms. The role of analysis is to bring data together in a meaningful way and enable the researcher and the audience to interpret it. The steps are as follows. The first step is to classify the data. The second step is to analyze the data. The third step is to find the mean, mode and median of the quantifying data. The fourth is to find the standard deviation. The fifth step is associating the data, and sixth step is to draw inferential analysis. First we will discuss the classifying of the data. Before analyzing the data, it is essential to classify or codify it. Before analyzing the data, it is essential to classify or codify it in some way. This is the method of preparing the data for analysis. It is organizing the data to analyze it. For example, converting the responses in a questionnaire form and coding them in numeric forms. The analysis depends on the data type. For example, the number of juvenile offenders involved in violent crimes every year in relation to a particular offence would be a qualitative data. The coding frame is dependent on the amount of data the researcher is having and the requirement of the audience. If it is concerned with details, more categories are required, and if it is a broad overview, lesser categories would be needed. The second step is about analyzing the data. The data can be analyzed on a descriptive basis, that is, to describe the data. It may also be an analysis that questions the data or tests hypotheses. It is inferential analysis and involves subjecting the data to a statistical analysis. As far as descriptive analysis is concerned, a researcher shall be mindful about the knowledge of their audience. Variables are one of the factors in the data. For example, age, gender, etc. They might be variables. A variable can either be dependent or independent. A dependent variable is one that would change following an increase or decrease in an independent variable. For example, the exam results can be a dependent variable in contrast with the number of lectures attended, which is an independent variable. The data can be presented in numbers on a graph or in the form of percentages. This type of analysis provides a description of the data which can be easily read as it is reduced from the mass and have been split upon the basis of various factors. It can be a tally chart. However, it can further be conveniently reduced to groups, say age groups, that uses a 5-year category. For example, figure 1 presents the age of offenders in auto burglary in the year 2013. Figure 2 is in the form of tally representing the age of the offenders in one row and the numbers of offenders of that age in another row below the first one. Whereas figure 3 is on the basis of age groups representing the number of offenders that fall in a particular age group. Looking at these figures, one can safely suggest that figure 3 is more informative in answering as to which age group was found to be most involved in auto theft as compared to figure 1 and figure 2. The third step is finding the mode, median and mean of the quantitative data. The mode of a group of data is the most frequently occurring value. The median is the value that separates the upper half of a list of values from the lower half. The mean is the average, that is, sum of total values divided by the number of values. They are all measures of what is known as central tendency, one which best describes the group. The fourth step is to find the standard deviation. Standard deviation is a tool to measure dispersion. It shows the relation a set of value has to the mean. Fifth step is of associating data. Some of the researcher's data would require him to explore relationship between two different set of variables. This is also known as correlation research. There are numerous methods for doing that, but the two most popular methods are Spearman's rank order correlation coefficient and Pearson's product movement correlation coefficient. And the last step is to draw inferential analysis. It assists the researcher in making conclusions about the data by performing certain operations on it. With inferential analysis, the researcher is inferring from his sample data what the population scores are. Sample is a selection taken from a group. It can be called to be the representation of that group. As a result, the findings of the sample can be generalized back to the group. The population is a group who share the same characteristics. The major difference between differential analysis and inferential analysis is that the researcher in the former aims to describe the data, while in the later he aims at making conclusions about it. Let us now summarize what we have learned in the present module. In this module, we discussed the meaning and nature of quantitative research and its relationship with qualitative research. We have also learned the similarities and differences between the two. We have also appreciated the importance of the qualitative method of research by way of illustrative examples. To conclude, the qualitative research, as explained above, can give meaningful insights. To conclude, the qualitative research, as explained above, can give meaningful insights and suggestions to the information that is scattered everywhere. It gives us concrete results and indications by performing statistical analysis, by converting the information into numerical formulas. The quantitative research has its own merits vis-à-vis qualitative research. Thank you.